What has she got in her hands, you ask? These are some dehydrated green peppers. And in today's video, we'll be doing a joyous thing, which is making gifts. I like making homemade gifts. I would love to lie to you and tell you that I make homemade gifts all the time for my friends and family, but I don't because I've got a lot going on. But today we are actually doing it, so that makes me super happy. And what I've decided to make, since we've got Christmas coming up, but you could do this for birthdays, or do you gift things at Thanksgiving? I don't think you do. But you know, all of those holidays that you gift things and you can buy crap in the store, try to restrain from it because it's just polluting the planet, guys. And it isn't as heartfelt as something you put some blood, sweat and tears into. So what we're doing today is making some spice rubs, homemade ones. We actually dry a lot of our own spices, which I know not everybody has time for. But if you're going to do it at home, then peppers, bell peppers, sweet ones, green ones, is definitely something I highly recommend because the quality of the taste is just so good. So here I have a tower of green ones, green bell peppers. I usually try to sort of get the ones that they're still good, they shouldn't be rotten, but the more ugly ducklings, if you will, they are perfect for dehydrating. So that's what I've done. I've chopped these up, put them in a dehydrator. They were here for 2.5 days on 60 Celsius. Fahrenheit down below. And you just want to make sure that they are dry to the point where they make a nice little crack. Hi folks, we're Sophie and Philippe, two professional chefs and regenerative farmers on a mission to empower people to grow, cook and preserve nutrient-dense, regeneratively grown, delicious food. We bring you how-to recipes, stories that bridge the gap between the land and our plates, sprinkled with a pinch of humor and lots of grit. After a wildfire burned down much of our farm, and with a baby on the way, we're working hard to rebuild our lives. Join us for some honest cooking, regenerative living, and fun farm-to-table courses and retreats. If you do want to try this at home, drying your own spices I mean, and also when it comes to fruits and softer herbs, I actually have a little article up on our website, so I'll leave the link below. There it states all the different temperatures that you need for different ingredients, because some things are very volatile, some herbs especially, soft herbs, so you don't want to go over 30 degrees Celsius. But for things like these peppers, they have such a high moisture level, content of water, that you actually need a lot higher temperature to get that out, and you need to dehydrate them for a little longer. So these, for instance, were dehydrated at 60, as I said, and because it is a wet time of the year in this area already, they took a little longer than they would if you do this midsummer. So those things come into play. But yeah, if you do find yourself interested, check out the link below. All right, we're done. So next step up is to now blend it into a powder. There's two things that are very important here. First one up, you need a high-speed blender with very sharp blades. Otherwise you won't get that nice powdery texture, let's say. It'll be a little bit, what would you call that? Gritty, nitty gritty. And the second thing is that's a mistake that often gets made, is that you need a very dry blender, because if you've just cleaned your blender, there's usually a little bit of moisture left in the bottom, and we really don't want that, because then you're going to be making sort of a spice cake at the bottom of your blender and it won't store well. So dry and sharp, those are the two words to remember. So good, but so potent. Let's not waste one little bit of this good green gold here. Spice mix number one, let's get going. So this one has a real strong, powerful umami kick. We're gonna add some chili in there, and it's gonna be a little bit warmish because we're adding cumin. But of course, the base of this rub is gonna be this beautiful green pepper powder, and that is actually very sweet. And if you smell it, it feels really yeah, sweet is the best way to describe it. So what we're going to do is we're going to layer this now, and we're going to leave the little layers visible because that aesthetically is just very beautiful. And then when the person receives the gift, they can shake it and then use it afterwards. So you should give them some instructions. But for visual appeal, we're going to try to keep the beautiful layers as is. Let's start with 20 grams of pink Himalayan salt. Then for our umami base, some green pepper powder, 30 grams to be exact. For a bright red dash, we're adding 10 grams of sweet paprika powder. On top of that, we're adding a savory touch of cumin, 15 grams, followed by 12 grams of onion powder. Another 4 grams of coriander powder for a nice and fragrant kick. And then to add a hint of spiciness, 5 grams of chili to top it off. Et voila, isn't she a beauty? So be careful not to shake this. You need to let the person, of course, that you're giving this to shake this. That would be a great moment. And then we can still decorate this with some beautiful decorative paper or a little cloth at the top. We'll get to that at the end of this video. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. Folks, I wanted to take a quick minute because I want to talk to you about some amazing on-site and off-site experiences we're offering in 2026. Because even though we love making these videos for you guys, a big part of our business also is teaching people real life and having great one-on-one group experiences, because the internet is great, but human connection is even better. So if you're interested in joining us, we give courses where we teach you how to cook farm-to-table food. These are mostly set here in Portugal on our site, but we also offer really fun once-in-a-lifetime culinary experiences. If that sounds like something you're into, check out the link below. All right, let's go back to the video. Moving on to spice mix number 2. This one is a little bit more à la Provence, let's say. So it has some thyme and some oregano, dried oregano inside. Then we're mixing that up with some garlic powder and of course our infamous green pepper powder. We start off with 40 grams of sea salt as the base. On top of that, we're adding another 40 grams of the green pepper powder. And then for that garlicky touch, we're adding 20 grams of dried garlic powder, 5 grams of dried thyme, and 12 grams of our homemade tomato flakes. Here's a video if you want to make this at home. And then last but not least, we're adding 3 grams of dried oregano, which hardly fit in the jar as you can tell. Just squeeze it down a little. Third up, we're doing a delicious Indian-inspired one. I really like Indian cuisine in general and I love all the spices that come with it. From our farm we have our sweet bell pepper powder and we have our tomato flake. Then we're also going to use cardamom. This is not from us, very little though, because in powder form this is very strong. And then we are going to give it a bright yellow color with some turmeric. The base for this mix is 20 grams of sweet paprika powder, followed by the earthy tones of 30 grams of cumin. Then add in 20 grams of salt, and now just to hide that beautiful color of the salt, we're adding 17 grams of turmeric powder. On top of that, a little umami booster of 20 grams of tomato flakes, and then 5 grams of coriander, topped up with just the smallest hint of 0.25 grams of cardamom. Okay, So now that these presents are ready, let me just show you how to use them. I bought a loin, a pork loin, a nice one that we're gonna cut into 3. We're gonna sear it, then we're gonna rub it in each different spice, and we're gonna have that for lunch. So you get a little idea of a taste test, but also you get a little bit of technique on how to roast and cook the perfect loin in the oven. First, we're gonna pan sear it. This is to keep all the juices in. Then we're going to rub it with the spices. The reason we're not doing that beforehand is because otherwise we're burning the spices. And then we're going to pop it into the oven to bring it to the core temperature of 65 degrees Celsius or 150 Fahrenheit. Using a delta method on our oven, but I'll also explain how you can do that on your home oven. Let's go. So I'm using a cast iron grill, and the reason for that being is that it's going to retain the heat really well, which means that when we're going to introduce the cold meat onto there, it's going to actually stay hot, and that is going to create a really nice sear. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure it's very hot first, and we're going to oil it lightly, and then I'm going to sear my 3 pieces evenly on all sides. All right, so these are nicely sealed on all sides. I'm gonna lay them separate to rest for a moment. Pan can go off. All right, we'll move this here for a moment. Now we'll need to mix these up, of course. So if you would put them in a slightly bigger jar, you could easily shake them. The way that I like to mix them up is by putting them in a little bowl, give them a few swirls and pop them back in so that it's really nicely distributed. Now just rinse and repeat for the other spice mixes as well. Three different flavors, 3 different trays. So I'm going to start off by salting them lightly, and once that's done, I'm going to, in a little ramekin, mix 2 tablespoons of olive oil plus a heaped tablespoon of the spice mix until it's a nice little paste, and then we're going to rub these little babies. Now, I was thinking about doing this with gloves just so that it would all look a little bit more sanitary, but I never really use gloves unless it's beetroot. Last one. Smells very good in here. All right, I'm gonna pop these in the oven. I'm gonna do them all 3 at once. I've got a fancy oven, so I've got a delta setting on this thing, meaning it actually can register the internal temperature of the meat, and I can dictate which temperature outside will be blasting to hit that internal temperature. If you don't have this setting on your oven, just a thermometer, a meat thermometer that you stick into the meat, start checking it every 20 minutes, after the first 20 minutes, and then every 10 minutes or so. Check the internal temperature. Once it hits 65 degrees Celsius, stop it and take your meat out and let it rest, because that way it will stay nice and medium rare, meaning that it's still gonna be juicy. And with pig meat, that is all you need in a loin, because nobody likes a dry loin. So these loins took about 45 minutes to get ready, and they were super nice and juicy. But don't forget, always rest your meat before cutting into it. That way you will get the juiciest result. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and if you were looking for some more gift inspirations, you could of course always make your family some fermented mustard. Go and check out this video, or if you wanted to learn how to make those dehydrated tomato flakes, go and check out this video. See you on the next one, the Farming Chefs. Peace out.